Hello, this is Justin Woodall with Woodall Realty Group at EXP, and today our spotlight agent is Chuck Chandler. So I'm here with Chuck, and we're going to hear a little bit about his story. So Chuck, tell us a little bit about your background and kind of leading up to your real estate career.
Yeah, worked at Lowe's when I was 21 years old, worked there for 11 years, and I sold everything from paint to flooring to appliances to kitchens sometimes. So had a pretty big background in sales and also just in home construction in general. But kind of got bored with it, and it wasn't really challenging anymore. And I met somebody one day that had gotten into real estate that had no experience in sales at all and was brand new, and she was killing it. And I was like, well, if you can do it, I can do it. So
and you have, and you've done well.
I have.
So I guess leading into, part of your career at Lowe's probably kind of prepped you, just knowing some of the materials and supplies and just components of housing probably helps you a little bit in this career.
100%, yeah. So I didn't just feel like I was walking through my house and relying on what was written on the sheet, which is not always correct. But I knew what kinds of granites those were, and what kind of floors, and so it brought me a comfort level pretty early on.
Yeah, cool, awesome. So tell me how long. So how long have you been in the business? When did you start with real estate? You started with us, brand new with us.
I started with you.
How long ago?
So I started on the right team. I think that made a big difference, but that was May of 2013. So 8 years in now, and I'm working on my 9th, and obviously it's changed a lot since I started.
Yeah, it has changed a lot. The market's changed a lot during that time. So what? Tell us a little bit. Kind of what do you like best about selling real estate? What's your
immediately what I love about it, I'm not a sit behind a desk kind of guy. I like meeting people, and obviously that's a big part of this job, and just being personal with people, and also it changes. Every single deal is different, and I love that about it. And beyond that, just especially when I like first time home buyers a lot, because they're so excited, and I feed off of that, and just getting that closing day, especially now it's so hard to find a home. Finally making it that day and handing those keys over is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot from when you started, because it went from basically being a buyer's market to what now we're a very strong seller's market. So you've definitely seen a little bit of it all. Tell me, I want to hear about maybe, and you've worked with hundreds of clients and closed hundreds of deals over that time period now, but tell me kind of maybe what was one of your most memorable transactions, or maybe memorable clients, or just one of those just feel good moments for you that was just always will remember.
It's funny, there's been so many, and it's hard to sort through them in my head, and there's been so many great ones, and I've made so many friends. But there's one in particular that always stands out to me, and honestly it was probably the toughest sale I ever had. And it was, the big houses are fun, and the really cool houses are fun to sell, the big pieces of land, but this was a single wide trailer in the middle of nowhere. But this girl came to me, and she probably I think she just kind of got blown off by other realtors, and nobody really hooked up the lender. And I was like, look, if you're legit and you can get approved, I will find you a home. And we finally got her approved, and we found this nice single wide trailer with a beautiful view, and it was an area she wanted to be in. But then it was one problem after another, and the inspection didn't go well, and then the foundation had issues, and the appraisal had issues, and the seller wanted to back out, and she kept wanting to give up, and we just pushed through, and 6 months later, probably the smallest check I made all year, but also the absolute most rewarding one I had all year, because she was like the youngest of 6 brothers and sisters, and no one had ever bought a home before, and she was the first, and she was just in tears about it. So that sometimes it's not always about the big house, but I remember that one forever.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome story, and that's the thing about a career in real estate. There's good money to be made, but at the same time, it's helping people like this girl to be first generation homeowner in a tough situation, because mobile homes can be tough to finance and tough to get into anyway. So that's awesome that you were able to do that. So tell us, Chuck, if what makes you different than the other 99% of the agents out there? What makes you different? Why should somebody work with you as opposed to another realtor?
There's a lot of great agents out there. There's probably a lot more bad ones, and I hope somebody at least ends up with a good one. But I think one thing I try to do is build personal relationships with people, not just a robot showing you houses, doing the numbers, and just worried about the sale. Like I try to get to know people. And I think that helps me help them as well, because I'm not just listening to what they're telling me, but I'm also seeing how they're reacting to these homes and what they're doing, and also You know, I do work a lot with buyers, and I think especially in this particular market, it's not just about finding the home, but you got to go win it. And that's something I've been really good at doing, a lot of different techniques to get, you know, a lot of these houses are getting 10, 15 offers. We don't know these days. Some are cash, and you got to know how to win them, and that's something I've been very successful at recently.
Yeah. Well, and you have, and I think one thing you've done really well is really talking to the client and understanding their unique situation and their, you know, what's important to them, and then making the situation work based on what's important to them. So that's awesome.
Absolutely.
So last question, just if you could give one piece of advice to anybody that's thinking about buying a house today, what would that piece of advice be?
Patience.
Okay.
I've always preached that. You know, I've told everybody when I meet them, like, look, don't panic if we find the house on the first shot, but don't panic if this takes time. And a lot more often lately, it's taken time, and you got to push through. It'll happen, and it might take 7 offers to find one. But you know, if we do, we sit you down and we ask questions. And then we ask questions about your answers to those questions. And we really try to break down what it is you want. So when we go look, we're not just showing you a million houses that you don't have any interest in. We're really focused and got a good idea what you want. So if it just happens to be the first house, don't freak out. Let's go. Let's offer. Let's go after it. But if it doesn't feel right, then just be patient. We'll find the right one.
Yeah. And you've done a great job with that. Well, Chuck, we appreciate your time today. Appreciate you being on the team. You're definitely an asset to Woodall Realty Group.
Thank you.
Here. And we appreciate you and everything you do. We hope you've enjoyed this agent spotlight. And if there's anything that we can do for you at Woodall Realty Group or Chuck can do for you as an agent, you know where to find us.